Have you ever walked away from a conversation with her feeling completely disoriented? You started with a valid point, a real concern, something she did that hurt you, but somehow, 10 minutes later, you're the one apologizing. You're the one explaining yourself. You're the one who feels guilty, and she's standing there, calm and composed, watching you unravel. That's not a misunderstanding. That's a pattern. And if it keeps happening, you're not dealing with a difficult woman. You're dealing with a manipulative and narcissistic woman. Today, we're exposing the 5 signs, the red flags you felt in your gut but couldn't name. By the end of this video, you'll see the game clearly, and more importantly, you'll know exactly how to stop playing it. Stay until the end, because sign number 3 is the one most men dismiss until it's too late, and once you see it, you can never unsee it. Sign number 1. She weaponizes your emotions against you. You bring up something she did. Maybe she flirted with your friend right in front of you. Maybe she dismissed your feelings in public. Maybe she gave you the silent treatment for 3 days because you came home late from work. So you gather your courage. You speak calmly. You say, "When you did that, I felt disrespected." And she looks at you with those cold eyes and says, "You're too sensitive," or "You're overthinking this." Or the classic, "I was just joking. You can't take a joke?" What just happened? She invalidated your reality. She took your legitimate emotion and labeled it as a weakness. This is called gaslighting, and the goal is simple. If she can convince you that your feelings are crazy, then she never has to take responsibility for causing them. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals high in narcissistic traits consistently dismiss their partner's emotions as irrational or exaggerated, not because the emotions are wrong, but because acknowledging them would require accountability, and accountability is poison to a narcissist. Here's what you do. You don't defend your feelings. You don't explain why you're not too sensitive. You simply say, "I'm telling you how I felt. If you can't hear that, we have nothing to talk about right now." Then you walk away, not angry, not reactive, just done. You just took back your power, and she won't know what to do with that. Sign number 2. She plays the victim while you play the villain. This one is a masterpiece of manipulation. She will do something objectively wrong. She'll lie. She'll break a promise. She'll disrespect you publicly. And when you finally call her out, somehow she's the one in tears. Somehow you're the one who attacked her. Somehow the conversation shifts from what she did to how mean you are for bringing it up.
She'll say things like, "I can't believe you think I'm a bad person," or "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me?" Or "You always make me feel like a monster." Notice the shift. She's no longer the perpetrator, she's the victim, and you're standing there holding the smoking gun, confused about how it ended up in your hand. This is called DARVO: deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Researchers in the Journal of Aggression, Maltreatment, and Trauma identified this as a core tactic in narcissistic manipulation. It's a psychological sleight of hand, and it works because you're a decent person. You don't want to be the villain. So, you soften, you apologize, you comfort her, and she gets away with it. Again. What do? You don't chase her tears. You don't comfort the crocodile. You hold the line. You say, "I see that you're upset, but we're still talking about what you did." You refuse to change the subject. You stay on track, and you watch her crumble because her magic trick just stopped working. Sign number 3. This is the one most men dismiss. The slow erasure of your boundaries. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens drip by drip. At first, she'll ask for small things, a little more of your time, a little less of your friends, a little peek at your phone just to see who you're talking to. And each time, you give in because you think, "It's not a big deal. I want her to trust me. I want her to feel secure." But here's what you don't realize. She's not building trust. She's building control. And every time you hand over a piece of yourself, she takes note. She learns that your no can be turned into a yes if she pushes hard enough. And soon, you look around and realize your friends are gone, your family is distant, your passwords are shared, and your life is managed by someone who doesn't see you as a partner, but as a possession. A clinical psychologist specializing in narcissistic relationships found that boundary erosion is the single most consistent predictor of emotional abuse escalation. It's the canary in the coal mine. By the time you notice the cage, the door has been locked for months. Here's what you do. You establish a no and you hold it. Not mean, not loud, just firm. "No, I'm not sharing my location."
No, I'm going out with my friends tonight. No, that doesn't work for me. And when she pushes back, and she will push back hard, you don't explain, you don't justify, you don't defend. You just repeat the boundary. This is called the broken record technique. It's boring, and it drives manipulators insane because they can't find a crack to wedge into. Your no is a wall. Walls don't argue. Walls just stand.
This brings us to the midpoint. If you've heard yourself in any of these signs, if your gut is screaming that something is wrong, even when she says everything is fine, this is your moment. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and in the comments type "I see it," because today your eyes are opening, and we're not done yet. Sign number 4, she uses intimacy as currency and withdraws it as punishment. In the beginning, she was everything you wanted, affectionate, present, passionate. She made you feel like the most important man in the world. But then the dynamic shifted. Now, when you upset her, she goes cold, the warmth disappears, the silence descends, and you find yourself walking on eggshells trying to earn back her affection by being good. This is behavioral conditioning. Psychologists call it intermittent reinforcement. It's the same mechanism that keeps people addicted to slot machines. You never know when you'll win, so you keep pulling the lever. You keep trying to be better, do more, apologize harder, just to get back to the warmth you remember. But she controls the thermostat, and she decides when you deserve heat. A study on narcissistic relationship dynamics found that withholding affection as a form of punishment correlates directly with increased anxiety and decreased self-esteem in the partner. It's emotional starvation, and you're begging for crumbs from someone who owns the entire bakery. The solution? You stop chasing the warmth. You stop performing for affection. You say, "I notice you've been distant. When you're ready to talk, let me know." Then you go live your life. You don't sulk, you don't beg, you don't orbit around her waiting for the ice to thaw. You reclaim your emotional independence, and she loses her most powerful weapon. Sign number 5, she's obsessed with how others see her. To the outside world, she's charming, generous, the life of the party. People tell you how lucky you are. Friends think she's amazing. Your family adores her. But behind closed doors, when no one is watching, she's a completely different person. Cold, critical, dismissive, cruel. This is the mask of the covert narcissist, and it's the most dangerous sign because it makes you doubt your own experience. You think, how can she be so awful to me when everyone else thinks she's an angel? Maybe I'm the problem. No, you're not the problem. You're just the only one who sees behind the curtain. Researchers in the Journal of Personality Disorders describe this as the public self versus the private self. The narcissist invests enormous energy into maintaining a flawless public image because their entire sense of worth depends on external validation. You, as the intimate partner, are in the unique position of seeing the truth, and that makes you a threat that must be managed, controlled, and discredited. What do? You document, you trust your memory, you stop seeking outside validation for what you know is true, and you understand that the mask is not your responsibility to maintain or to expose. Your only job is to protect yourself from what lives behind it. So how do you deal with a woman like this? Here's the truth. You can't fix her, you can't heal her, you can't love her hard enough to make her see herself. What you can do is reclaim your power. You stop reacting, you stop explaining, you stop performing for someone who will never be satisfied. You become boring to her drama. You become unreachable by her manipulation. And when you do this, something remarkable happens. She will either escalate because she's losing control, or she will collapse because her tactics no longer work. Either way, the game is over, and you win, not by defeating her, but by freeing yourself. So look at your relationship right now. Are you constantly confused? Are you always the one apologizing? Do you feel smaller today than you did when you first met her? If the answer is yes, stop negotiating with someone who doesn't negotiate in good faith. Stop giving your energy to someone who feeds on your depletion. You are not too sensitive. You are not crazy. You are not the problem. You are a man who saw something was wrong and had the courage to name it, and that courage will set you free. This is the art of dealing with a manipulative and narcissistic woman, not by fighting her, but by leaving the battlefield entirely. I see it, now she sees it, and you'll never be played again.